Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Percy and I've been tutoring students in things like math, science, SAT stuff at high school and college levels for about 8 or 9 years now. And so yeah, we just go over all kinds of stuff related to just content and in terms of like math topics, science topics, and just really just studying and learning skills in general. So yeah, and speaking of, today we're going to go over some AI tools that are really effective. So in my last video, I was talking about why it's important to use AI, but in this one, we're going to go over 5 example tools and why they're so effective for studying. And they're all AI tools. So this could be really informative and could accelerate all your learning and just all your practice that you're doing. So the first one I want to bring up is one that pretty much everyone knows about. It's ChatGPT. And now they have the new 5 version and the 5 Pro versions. And ChatGPT, it's really useful because, again, you can customize your questions that you ask to it, or you can give it custom commands, like maybe to help you outline something or explain a concept. And it has competitors though, right? So you have things like that I'm also going to talk about, like Claude from Anthropic and Gemini also, which is Google's. And the 3 of those are kind of, their main competitors in terms of just like large language model kind of chat conversation bots. But what I've noticed is really effective about ChatGPT is it's very, very good at the more language-oriented classes. And so maybe explaining concepts in history or getting it to sort of look over some writing you've done. Maybe if you're doing like an English essay, or maybe it helps you form an outline for a particular type of essay that you're trying to work on. And so it's very, very good with the language-oriented academic stuff in general, right? And also, ChatGPT recently, there was a calculus benchmark study that they gave to all these different these AI sources, and ChatGPT actually scored the highest out of any of the AI tools, and it had a 94.7% success rate on solving those hard calculus problems. And so it actually beat out Claude and Gemini, but I'm going to kind of get into some exceptions with this later because Gemini is actually really good at math. But in general, ChatGPT, very, very good. It seems very proficient in math for the most part. There are a few hiccups that happen sometimes, so you always want to fact check your solutions and stuff. But again, very good with language-oriented things, and then it also is extremely good with creativity and helping you brainstorm ideas too, whether that's how to study something or maybe what order you should study something in, so helping you brainstorm things like that. Okay, so now the second tool is one of the ones I mentioned briefly, which is a Claude AI. And the advantage with Claude is it's whereas ChatGPT kind of wins in the creativity and brainstorming side of things, Claude is very good at these particular things. It's very good at deep reasoning. And so that could be with maybe like computer code that you're feeding it, or a really complex STEM problem, or maybe it's even answering like a complex philosophy question. So it's very good at going in depth on complex questions, complex answers, but it also is very good with emotional intelligence. And so whereas ChatGPT, it can do this too, it can take on a certain type of personality when you're talking to it, but Claude is especially good at picking up on those cues that maybe sort of like social or emotional cues in your writing, or maybe the way you're writing something. Okay, so it's very, very good at picking up on maybe where you're frustrated with something, like maybe there's a problem that you're very frustrated on, or maybe there's a particular aspect of it that you're feeling really good about. And so it's good at picking up on those things. And like I said, very good for, especially for you computer science students, like very good with coding and stuff like that. So check out Claude for those reasons. Okay, so the third one is, again, it's the third of those 3 main competitors. It's Google Gemini. And Gemini it sounds a little bit more formal when you're conversing with it in general. So especially when you're in the 2.5 Pro version, 2.5 Pro is, unless you tell it to have a certain personality, it sounds very formal and very kind of textbook-like when you're talking to it. So it may not be as kind of emotionally intuitive as something like ChatGPT or Claude, especially Claude would be. But it's very, very clear in how it lists things. And actually, even though I was saying that ChatGPT kind of won that sort of math benchmark competition with calculus problems, and they put Gemini at like a lower score, I really think Gemini, the 2.5 Pro version of it, is exceptionally good at math, and I would argue it's actually better at math and STEM stuff than ChatGPT is. It's a little bit more accurate because I've done some testing with it. So this is one of those cases where you kind of don't believe everything you read, because I feel like Gemini 2.5, that is the best AI, general kind of AI LLMs that I have seen for the use cases of like math and sort of STEM engineering stuff. So definitely check that out. Gemini is also incorporated in all of, Google's other apps like Google Google Slides. They use Gemini, so it's a very kind of universal thing if you're a sort of high frequency Google user. So definitely something to think about. Okay, so then number 4 is also a Google tool, and it's called Google NotebookLM. And where Google NotebookLM is different is that it's more of it acts like a filing system that can analyze those files, right? So NotebookLM is organized, instead of into folders like you would have on your computer, they call those notebooks, right? So they still work like folders. So they call those notebooks, and each notebook can have anywhere from up to 50 to 300 sources, right? So it's up to 50 if you have the unpaid version as of the time I'm making this video, and it's up to 300 different sources on that one notebook if you have the paid pro version. So essentially what you can do is, let's just say you make a notebook for AP US History Unit 1, right? And then you have all these note resources, like maybe some of them are PowerPoint or Google Slides from class presentations that your teacher was giving, or maybe they're Google Docs that are giving notes on certain subtopics in the unit. And maybe some of them are, maybe you handwrite your notes and you scan them into PDFs and upload those to Google NotebookLM. So essentially, in this notebook of Unit 1, a push, let's just say I have, 57 sources that I want to upload, and I'm on the paid version. I can upload those to NotebookLM, and I can check off either all of them. I can select them all in the Resources tab, or maybe just some of them, like some particular combination of them. And then there's a chatbot. Once you have those resources selected, you can ask the chatbot questions about those particular resources. So where this is different is NotebookLM, unless you tell it to do the discover feature, which is, where it goes online and discovers sources for you, it's really only pulling information from the sources that you uploaded. So the advantage that this has is it's pulling directly from very highly accurate source material, whereas the general kind of ChatGPT and Gemini and other such things, while it's really highly accurate, it's pulling from everywhere, so it may have some hallucinations or some hiccups in terms of conceptual understanding on certain things, right? So NotebookLM is very reliable in pulling from those sources that you trust and that are accurate, and it can give you things like summaries and all this other stuff. It can help you generate quizzes for yourself, just like ChatGPT and stuff can. So, but more specific to your notes. Okay, so that's a really good one. And the 5th and final one that I want to go over is it's often used as more of a homework solver, but it's called Goth or Goth AI. It's spelled Gauth and then AI. It's an app on the phone, and it's very similar to PhotoMath, where you take a picture of the problem and you put it in a certain cropped window on the app, and it basically gives you an answer back with steps. And so I caution against using this as just a way to just sort of do your homework or have it do your homework for you, because then you are not benefiting from that. You're not learning it. And so what you could use it as, though, is, let's just say there are some bonus practice problems outside of homework. You can take a picture of the problem, and what's really nice about Goth is not only does it solve it for you, but it lists out the steps in a very clear manner that's easy to follow, almost looks like a really nice textbook or something. And the really crazy feature about it too is you can click on different modes. So if you are about to take a picture of a history problem that you need to solve, or maybe it's a multiple choice question in history, you can click history mode. And then if you have a chemistry problem that you want to solve, there's a chemistry mode, right? So there are all these different modes for different subjects that you can click on, and it'll sort of it'll frame the AI into that kind of problem solving context. So yeah, no, a lot of really good stuff, a lot of tools that you can use to accelerate your studying and understanding of things. and we'll go over more details of those in the future. But yeah, if you liked today's video, just remember to like and comment with any more questions you have, and click the subscribe for more content, and I'll see you on the next one.